Hey, what's going on, everybody? Just wanted to take a minute to post a quick vlog. I've actually been meaning to start posting vlogs for a little while now because topics come up. I see some stuff in the news that I want to discuss, and I always end up getting caught up with other work or, life happens, and I'm like, when am I going to have time to do this regularly? And I guess the only time I'm really going to have is when I'm in the car. I'm hands-free, so please nobody freak out. Both hands are on the wheel, and we're ready to go. All right, just want to talk a little bit about the topic that keeps coming up, which is, when is the market going to come crashing down? Everyone keeps saying, oh my God, this is insanity. Look at the property prices. This can't sustain itself. And when is it going to come down? The short answer is nobody knows. Absolutely nobody knows. I don't care who you are. I don't care what education you've got, what you say you think you know. You cannot time the market, okay? Secondly, I don't personally believe it's going to come crashing down. Do I believe that there's going to be a correction? Yes, eventually there is going to be a correction. However, a crash, unless something happens horrible around the world, something really drastic where interest rates just skyrocket for some reason and shit really hits the fan, I think we're gonna be okay in the sense of things aren't gonna happen what happened in the States of 2007, when property prices dropped by over 40% and a lot of people were underwater with their mortgages. I personally don't believe that's going to happen. I'd love to have discussions with people who do believe it's going to happen and see what they think, because I don't know everything either, and I'd love to hear other people's perspectives. However, making a decision on buying a house, you should never try and time the market, because all you're going to end up doing is screwing yourself over, to be honest with you, because you might be right once or twice with timing things, and this comes down to the stock market and whatever you think of. But whatever you buy, I'm a conservative guy in that sense, you should buy and hold for the long term, especially when it comes to real estate. Even back in the day, I used to tell people you should be holding on to your real estate minimum 3 to 5 years. If you don't actually see yourself living in that home for 3 to 5 years minimum, you should not be looking at buying. You should consider renting as an option for you, okay? Property prices have gone up over 20% the last 2 years in Durham Region. So this is pretty explosive growth. I think it was long overdue. We were way too cheap real estate compared to the other areas surrounding Toronto. And it all stems from the demand and everything that's going on in Toronto and these surrounding areas. If you are hesitant and you're thinking about buying and you just don't know what you got to do, talk to an agent, talk to your mortgage rep, do the due diligence to find out if this is the right move for you. Even if you can afford it, you might still not want to buy right now just because you might end up being house poor. Things are very expensive right now. Lending practices are getting tighter, so you might not be able to even get lending with the A lender, which is the big bank. You might end up going with a B lender. There are so many different options and so many different things that you need to consider, but you need to actually educate yourself and ask the right questions. Don't hold off on buying because you're trying to time the market though. Okay? If you're actually trying to time it and trying to say, oh, I'm going to wait until the market plummets, you're going to be, standing there waiting while the entire market goes crazy around you. And I've got plenty of clients that happened to. I've also have clients that decided to sell because they truly believed 2 years ago that the market was going to come down. It's like, this can't keep going. They ended up selling, and they've been renting for the last 2 years, and now they've ended up pricing themselves out of a property that they were originally in. Okay? So I don't believe the market's going to crash. I think we're going to be due for a correction in the next few years. I don't think we're going to have anything in the foreseeable future. I think in the next year or two, the inventory is still extremely tight, and the demand is still strong as ever. So I don't believe the market's going to crash. However, whether you should rent or buy right now, that's for another video blog. That's for another discussion. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to let me know. If you disagree with me and you think I'm talking out of my ass, I would love to hear what you have to say as well. Please let me know. I'm always interested in other people's point of views. And hopefully I can make this vlog a regular occurrence and you all enjoy it. All right, everybody, have a good one. Talk soon.